Dame Lillard going to Milwaukee. Now let me ask y'all this. This how I looked at it. Boston basically traded Smart, both Williams and Brogden for Porzingis and Jrue Holiday. And they gave up some first round picks. I don't know if I would have done that. I'm just being honest. Jrue Holiday is great, but he's older. Porzingis. People talk about Robbie Williams being injury prone. So was Porzingis. So, I really don't know if Boston got better, got worse. I know Milwaukee got better. I do like Jrue Holiday over there because, to be honest, I don't think they have a leader on the basketball court in Boston. As much as I like Jaylen Brown as a leader, I don't think he's a leader on the basketball court. I think his leadership is bigger than sports. I think after sports, he's going to become one of those. But I think Jrue Holiday brings toughness. He brings leadership. And they got a great backup point guard in White. So I don't mind a trade. I just don't know if it made them better. But I know for a fact they do not make this trade if Dame Lillard doesn't go to Milwaukee. So for people that's trying to poo-poo that Dame Milwaukee move, this is why. I like it. I don't love it. I have to let it marinate a little bit. I'm going to think about it more. I kind of, me, I jumped out the window. Was like, they lost a lot. It's okay. But I think they got to make another move. And before I let one of y'all go, if I'm Boston, I'm trying to go get Dwight Howard. You cannot rely on Al Horford and Porzingis in the front court. As great as Al Horford is, you have to limit his minutes. He's older. Porzingis is not a banger, Paul, so you can't expect him to do a lot of the dirty work. So if I'm Boston, I'm trying to go get Dwight Howard. But
they got Wendy and Gabriel a couple hours ago. What do you think of that?
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't mind that. But it just goes. Go ahead.
No, who was it that he said?
Wayne Gabriel.
Gabriel.
One that was just in the Lakers. He spent some time here in LA with the Clippers for a little bit, and then the Lakers this past season.
So before I let one of y'all go, it just goes to show you that they have to make other moves, y'all. That is not enough. Because they know Dame Lillard in Milwaukee, that's it right there. So to compete with that, you got to make a move. I like the move. I don't love the move, but it's a great move going forward. They got to get over the hump. No chip, it's not good.
Flea, what you thinking, Flea?
There's a lot going on right now in the Eastern Conference. I see a lot of things that's grabbing my attention. First thought comes to mind is what Tu said, the leadership that Boston lost with Marcus Smart, they regain with Jrue Holiday. They also regain a championship point guard, right? My 2 cents with the whole Robert Williams thing. I don't think Robert Williams is a guy that's going to hold up a deal for Jrue Holiday. Robert Williams in the last 2 seasons, I think, has played 35 and 51 games. And so he's not a guy. He's 25, so he is young. He has time to figure out his body and figure out how he can keep his body in tip-top shape. But as of right now, his knees has failed him. You know what I'm saying? They failed him, and he's not able to perform at the level that I know all of us know he can perform at. When he's playing, he's a rim protector. He's a rim runner. He's a guy that can test every shot. He rebounds well, plays with a lot of energy. So when he does get right, Portland got a great backup center for DeAndre Ayton. Now, for Portland, I think it was a really, really strategic move not to deal with Miami. They have shown Miami that they are not going to do any deals with them. They dealt with Milwaukee. They dealt with Boston. They said, fuck you, Miami. We're not dealing with you. So I thought that was something that's pretty interesting to look at. Like, damn, they had an opportunity to send Miami 2 pieces that could have really helped them, and they flipped the bird to them. So I thought that was, something to look at. But in terms of the totality of the deal, I think Boston made out pretty well. I think Derek White does become the starting 2 guard, to be honest, in my opinion. And I think that becomes probably one of the best defensive backcourts in the NBA. So
hold on, Fleet, stay there. So you saying they're going to start Jrue and Derek White in the backcourt.
I see them rolling out. I see them rolling out Jrue, White, Brown, Tatum,
Porzingis.
KP. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I see rolling out.
And
I
off the
think,
bench, Horford. Who else they have off the bench?
Horford to be coming off the bench.
Yes.
Pritchard,
Peyton Pritchard, but his role is gonna have to elevate now. I think he's a
but
really
that's
good
what he's
player.
wanted.
What'd you say?
That's what he's wanted.
And I think he's a really good player. I think he gets the opportunity. You move Brogden. Brogden was already kind of bitching, like, you know, he wasn't happy. So you get him out of there. I think they're in a position to be title contenders. I don't think that makes them the championship favorite, but I think, you know, they're in the mix with the other couple teams that are in that mix.
Go ahead, Dom, you ready? Or
Yeah. Man, I was disappointed the Clippers didn't get Jrue Holiday. Anytime a player,
of course you were.
Anytime a player of Jrue Holiday's caliber is out there, I mean, it's going to be high demand. And man, Brad Stevens really did great work today. They lost Marcus Smart. We were worried about a little bit of toughness in the backcourt. Derek White was their only good guard defender, but now you got a guy that was all defense last year in Derek White and Jrue Holiday. That's got to be the best defensive starting backcourt in the league, right? And then still have Jalen and Jason. The thing is, they are thinner up front now. Robert Williams was, when healthy, awesome for them. Like, awesome. But this past playoffs, he didn't play much. He's been injured a lot. I just wonder if Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford, especially because, as ALLBALL mentioned, Kristaps is not the healthiest in the world all the time. I don't know if that front court can really hold up in the playoffs. In the regular season, I think they'll be fine. There's so much small ball. They're rarely going to be going up against teams that will dominate you on the inside in terms of with bigs. I think Porzingis and Horford can hold down the fort, protecting the rim with those other athletes around them, like Tatum and Jalen. I really think they'll be fine. They may not be top 5 defensive rating, but I still think they'll be good. Their offense is going to be electric. And, I mean, they still have so much that can stay in front of the ball defensively. They did lose a little bit of depth, I feel like, this offseason, losing Grant Williams, now Brogdon, and Marcus Smart.
And Robert Williams. That's 4 guys.
Now and Rob Williams, yeah. I think they're still, though, it's them in Milwaukee. Like, if they don't get the top 2 seeds, even if some players get injured here and there, if they don't get the top 2 seeds, I would be shocked. I would really hope they do, and that would make them on a collision course to play in the conference finals, which at this point with the storylines would be epic. Jrue Holiday playing against the Bucks. I mean, wow, that would be amazing. So we'll see what happens. I still think the Celtics win when you get Jrue Holiday on your team. Now he's a clear third guy with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, maybe less ball handling for Jaylen Brown, who has been so shaky with the ball and has had to create a little too much for them. Even though Jrue sometimes can be a little reckless with his decision-making in terms of shot selection, in my opinion, as well. He's been very inefficient the last couple of playoffs, but I think now with that much offensive talent around him, he may not need to force it as much because the Bucks, their half-court offense, it really comes down to Middleton, Holiday, or Giannis just making plays. But the Celtics, I feel like, have more weapons, better players in the half-court. He won't have to do as much. I think it's still a great move for Boston overall.
Can I jump in real fast? The other thing that I did miss is that Jrue is coming directly from Milwaukee. So he knows all the tricks of the trades. He knows their sets. He's comfortable with what they do over there. Obviously, things look different now that you're bringing in Dame. But for the most part, a lot of the personnel is the same. And he knows a lot of their tendencies. Obviously, Middleton, Giannis, their role players, Crowder, all of those guys over there. So I think, that adds another piece. Drew's a high IQ guy. He's going to be able to come in and help Tatum become a better defender on and how they defend that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just letting them know information. Not, you got to still play the games, but just being able to be a guy from that locker room coming into this locker room, I think gives them a slight advantage as well.
I think this is the first time we're going to see Jrue Holiday play without a dominant big man. And he had 2 of them on the Bucks, and he had Anthony Davis in New Orleans. So it's the first time in a long time he's not going to have that as an anchor. And for him to be in Boston, it's going to, with Jason Tatum there is dope. You could rotate and have some mismatches and have some help on that end. But I think there is something to the fact that that's the first thing you said, or ball was Porzingis and Horford. What do they really mean in the post, especially on the defensive end? On the offensive end, you know, we've seen Horford get hot. We've seen what Porzingis can do, but defensively, that is a problem. Like, who's going to stop anyone from going to the paint after you can beat Jrue, who's shown some health concerns? Jimmy Butler killed him last year in the playoffs. Granted, it is Jimmy Butler, I get that, but once you get past Jimmy Butler, the Boston Celtics always play up and down. Like that was the knock for me. Jason Tatum plays up and down. I don't think you really resolve that issue. And offensively, like Dom Dropper spoke to it, I see Jrue Holiday. He did chuck up a lot of shots before, and it was kind of surprising when he would chuck on Milwaukee. But it also made sense because who else is going to shoot the ball there? Like Giannis couldn't create his own shot like that. And you know how I feel about how his skill set, like it's going to be all lumbering you down or whatever it is, and setting up Brook Lopez and stuff like that. But Boston, I don't know if they got better defensively, and that's where they should have gotten better. You have to get better like that when you're up and down on offense like that. You can't really, like, what side of the ball can Boston rely on and be super? 2 years ago when they went to the finals, 2 seasons ago, they looked crazy because it was defense and it was a super version of it. Robert Williams is a part of that. Yeah, he's injury prone, but he was still a threat. Like, we didn't know what to expect. And there's a comment here that was dope. That's why Robert Williams dropped. I want to give you credit. My bad. Rob dropped Jay Cruz. Rob dropped in the draft because of the injury concerns, and then now he just got traded from the Celtics to the Portland Trailblazers because of injury concerns. So I don't know if, like, I think we're all in agreement. I don't know if the Celtics are that much better. We don't know.
Well,
like, they're right there.
Porzingis played like 60+ games last year. So
yeah, he was good last year.
He was fairly healthy. Yeah, he was fairly healthy last year. So, I mean, if he can add on to that and just continue to get stronger and be able to be a durable player, he's a capable rim defender. Like, I don't think that's out of the realm of asking him to do. You know, I don't think he's as good as what Robert Williams was becoming, right? But I think adding him to what they do, I think he's capable of it. You know, he's going to be in winning positions now too. He's going to be in more meaningful games. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see Porzingis in a spot where he's going to have to really step up.
Well, Flea, I agree with you, but then I'm gonna slightly disagree with you with the Porzingis thing. Meaning, when he has to guard those big bodies, like a Giannis or like a Joel Embiid, and let me just say this: depending on what Philly gets back for James Harden, my opinion with this move, they're gonna have a problem with Philly on that front court. Even though Al Horford did a hell of a job against Embiid, I'm saying now you have to rely on Horford in Porzingis. Like I said, Robbie Williams was an extra body, extra 6'5", an extra young kid, tough, athletic. And Dom, I also disagree. I don't think Boston has more firepower than Milwaukee. If you kind of like do the one-offs, you have Dame and Jrue. You have Giannis and, let's just say, Tatum. You have Middleton and Brown. I'm not going to say Brown is that much better than Middleton, but on any given night, Middleton can catch on fire just like Brown. And I don't think Porzingis is that much better than Brook Lopez. It's just that Brook Lopez just took on the defensive things, but he's still offensively tough, could put you on the post. He can knock down a three. So like I said, I like them.
I'll say Derek White, though, beats whoever that fifth guard is.
Yes, I agree.
Milwaukee.
I agree. And he definitely 100%. Got much better. I agree with that. I definitely agree. Down, great point. But yeah, like I said, I like the move. I don't think they're done because people gonna think I'm crazy. They had a problem with Philly in the playoffs. That went to Game 7, right?
I mean, the Celtics have been kicking their ass though for years.
They own them too.
No, James Harden won them 2 games. I don't really, you know,
right.
But he won them 2 games. He's not going to be on the team next year.
Right. No. So that's why I said, depending on what they get back for James Harden, I don't see this move with Boston losing all those bodies and them defensive players and the leadership. I'm being honest, unless they get another big body like a Dwight Howard, for me.
Dwight Howard is cat. He's just washed, man. He's done.
He doesn't get off the ground. The Lakers had him last year.
Lakers had Dwight Howard last year.
2022, right? And he couldn't get off the ground anymore.
Yeah, briefly too. Like, it was brief. But what I'm saying is, I don't think that we can rely on getting a guy like that per se to kind of save them on the defensive end in terms of bigs. That can't be the okay, we got to go find him. He's an option. Yeah, he's an option. But I think if we look around the league, there's got to be. I think there's another move that Boston is going to make. They're not done yet. They can't be done yet.
Not Wenyen Gabriel.
Shout out to Wenyen Gabriel. Good player.
Yeah.
Not the guy that is going to get stops in a game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals when, you know, we need a stop. I don't know. I'm not looking for Wenyen Gabriel.
All I'm going to say is this, though. I've been saying this, and people have been laughing at me. And what I've been saying, Jason Tatum and Brown, it's not enough. Boston is doing any and everything in their power. Remember, Fleet, they got to get over the hump. You can't keep getting to the conference finals, to the finals, and coming up short. So I'm just hoping that they're making the right moves because once again, Fleet, if they don't get to the chip,
it's a 2-year window too. It's a 2-year window. They made this move. They made this move going to get Jrue. Jrue only got 2 left, right? It's a 2-year window to really see what you could do. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If they shit the bed this year,
I'm telling you,
then I'm on board with exploring moving Brown and seeing what we could get for Brown.
Thank you. That's all I ask.
Me and you been ping ponging that shit for a while now, and I'm not with breaking them up. But if this year they come up short, yes, you got to start exploring what you could get. What you got down?
What if they lose to Milwaukee? That's not. Is that terrible that they lose to Milwaukee?
Is that terrible? No, but
well, and what round?
Conference finals.
Then for me, no. I think that's what you want to do.
I disagree with y'all.
I think it's a 2-year window. I think it's a 2-year window. I'm not saying that you do move Brown if they don't win the championship this year, but you do start looking at the suitors. Because the next year, if you just decide to keep them and then you go forward the next year and y'all come up short, then there has to be some tweaks with the roster. Last piece too for me on this, coaching is going to matter. I think that's a piece we haven't spoken about at all. Coaching is going to matter with those 2 ball clubs. Yeah, there's a lot of talent on both teams. Adrian Griffin is a first-time head coach, and Joe Mazzulla is still trying to figure out gaining the respect of those guys over in Boston. So I think those 2 things are going to really matter going forward with both those teams. They're going to be good, but I think the difference with the teams is going to be who's going to be coached the best.
I think the Dwight Howard name is good, you know, for 10, 15 minutes. And another name that the Celtics have to explore, the Knicks should be exploring, is Mark Williams out of Charlotte, the Hornets. Like, I think they just named him the starter over there. Okay. That's a kid that I think he played 19 minutes a game last year.
He's from Duke. He went to Duke. So I think I like his game. He has like I want to say a poor man's version of, the Tyson Chandlers of the world, the rolling out to the rim, like a poor man's AD and maybe Robert Williams on offense. So they have to explore that. The rebounding and the defensive anchor they're gonna need. He averages a block a game. Like the Knicks should be, you could go all in for that and just trade our center right now. Well, we trying to move Mitch.
Right.
Mitchell Robinson.
Saw that. Right. They put two first-round draft picks as the teaser out there. I don't see that happening, but with this guy Mark Williams on the Hornets, I would explore that. I think they just named him the starting center over there. So if you're the Celtics, I think if you could bring in Dwight Howard, you definitely got to explore a 19, 20-year-old kid like that who's a defensive anchor or looks like he can be somewhat of that in 18 minutes a game of play. But you guys did mention